All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, the bonus of the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and salutations to you brothers to the four corners of the earth, preaching this word and also laboring in this word in truth, love, and sincerity. And may blessings fall upon the houses of the 1/3. And in this quick lesson, I'm going to go into how Benjamin Franklin, America's beloved Benjamin Franklin, wrote an essay in 1751 admitting and stating that the original Swedes, the original Germans, Russians, Italians, the people of France, Spain, and America, right, are all people of color. Yes, you heard it correctly. They are all originally so-called black people. All right. And a lot of you people are going to get upset at this fact, but guess what? It's the truth. And this is coming from your beloved Benjamin Franklin. Okay. And the title of that book or essay, right? It is called America as a Land of Opportunity, right? And it's wrote by your beloved Benjamin Franklin in 1751. Okay. And as you can see here on the screen, it's him, the Edomite Benjamin Franklin. Okay, so without further ado, I want to get into a little bit of this history. All right, I'm dealing with how, he states that, hey, these original people in these particular places in 1751 were people of color. All right. And lately, a lot of you people have been getting an uproar because they got movies coming out with the Swedes, the original Swedes and the Vikings being people of color. But hey, you should be mad at your people, your forefathers, the Edomites, which is the so-called white people, for lying to you about your history. Okay, because it is in fact that dark people or black people, who you call black people, ruled Europe. Okay, we ruled Europe before you so-called white people did. Okay, us being the Israelites. Okay, and a lot of Israelites went under the banner of being Moors because they converted to Islam or whatever, or they converted to be Muslims, right? When they were ruling under the banners of the Moors for a thousand years. During the Byzantine Empire. Okay. But that's another topic for another day. Let's get straight into this lesson dealing with what the statement Benjamin Franklin said. Okay. So let's start first with, we're going to read exactly what Benjamin Franklin said in this book or in this essay. Okay, so as soon as it loads up. Okay, so you see it here. This is the book and it's from page 60. It says, why? Let's see, we might get a better one on here. All right, so here we go. It reads, it says, first, here's Benjamin Franklin in 1751. Referring to the Swedes, French, and other Europeans as insufficiently white and expressing his growing annoyance at the German immigration boom. So why would he be mad at the growing of the German immigration boom, right? If the original Germans was white, right? What would make him upset? You're going to see why, which is going to make him upset at the German immigration boom, because guess what? The original people of Germany was people of color. Okay, and you're about to see. It says, why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlements and by herding together establish their language and manners to the exclusion of ours? Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize us instead of our Anglifying them, and will never adopt our language or customs any more then they can acquire our complexion, meaning their he's speaking of their so-called white complexion, because the Edomites, the so-called white people, they are really red. Okay. But what I'm trying to harp on is Germanized. Why is he saying Germanized if the original people of Germany are white people? Because they're not. Okay, and it's going to go into it. It says, which leads me to add one remark, that the number of purely white people, which there's no such thing, is that they're Edomites, and there's nothing about them that is pure. It says number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small. All Africa is black or tawny, right? And we're going to go into these words. Asia chiefly tawny, America exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also. You see that? So we're going to stop right there. Okay, we're going to start right there and hit a few points, just backing it up. So when he's making these statements, he's saying what? These people of these lands that I just mentioned, right? The French, the Russians, the Swedes, the Germans, the Spaniards. And he's saying these people are swarthy. Okay, so let's go into this word swarthy. Okay, when someone is swarthy, go to the online etymology, right? Online etymology dictionary, right? It's to get the root and the meaning of words. So when you go and look up the word swarthy, what do you see? Dark colored. You see that? Dark colored. So Benjamin Franklin, right? Your beloved forefather of America is letting you know that the original French, the Russians, the Germans, the Spaniards, the Italians, the Swedes, the people of Europe were originally black people. Okay, so-called black people. You see that? So how can you argue against one of your beloved forefathers, man? Okay, but this is history that we have to bring out that people just don't know. Okay, when people hear of, you have a lot of people today say, well, the Europeans are white people. No, they're not. The original Europeans were not white people at all. Okay, what you have to understand is when Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, when he went and took the conquered lands, what did he do? He conquered that land, and then he took upon the people's name of that land. Okay, for instance, when you hear about the Egyptians, most people think, okay, the Egyptians are white people, in the different movies that they portray of themselves. But in fact, we know that the real Egyptians, are a dark complexion people, and they're really Hamitic, okay, so-called Africans today. Also when you deal with the Greeks, okay, the original Greeks were a dark people, right? They were from the Japhetic nation, okay, they was from the sons of Japhet, which they were a dark people also, but they go back to the people like the Tongans and Hawaiians and the Pacific Islanders. But what did Esau do? He took them down and he took their name upon themselves. Same with over here in America, Babylon the Great, right? He killed the Gadites and the Reubenites, okay, right, which they're Israelites, and he took upon their names as being the American, okay, because what did Gad and Reuben call themselves? Or they were being called the North American Indians, right, and the Seminole Indians, okay, of the Americas. But when Esau took them down, he took upon their names of being Americas, because that's what he conquered, or so-called discovered, as they say. So let's get this real fast. With me saying all that, okay, because I gotta bring out a few scriptures, and we're gonna get this one too. And I brought this out in my last lesson, hey, but it never hurts to bring it out again. It's the book of Psalms 49, verse 11. And it reads, it says, Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So like I said before, when they came and conquered, different lands, different countries, areas, right? They put their name on that land. Okay. And also, they was taken upon, the people's names of them lands as well, just also so they can hide and cover themselves from who they actually are, which they are the Edomites of the Bible. Okay. All right, so let's go back to Psalm 64 and 8, because I want to bring this out in a little second. Okay. All right, so let's go back to this. Okay, so all right, so we look up the word swarthy, which means dark people. Okay, right? So now in this it says tawny. You see how it says all Africa is black or tawny, Asia chiefly tawny. Okay, so let's go into this tawny. It says tawny, a tan color, late 14th century, from the Anglo-French tawny, of or like the brownish yellow or tan leather, from Old French tannet, dark brown. You see, dark brown. Modern French tanny, past particle of tanner to tan hides, from medieval Latin tan care. It says sea tan and tawniness. You see, so this will be the color. The color of tawny would be like a tannish brown color. Okay, and even you see his hair, dark brown. So when they're saying these people were tawny and swarthy, they are admitting, or he is admitting, that these people in these lands are people of color. Okay, let's get a little bit more. Going into that word more, right? So when we go into more, right, and I just want to hit the main points. Let's see. Here we go. So it says a North African Berber, one of the race dwelling in Barbary, late 14th century, from Old French moray, from medieval Latin morus, from Latin maurus, inhabitant of Mauritania. Is this the one I want to get? No, slacking, not this one. Oh yeah, here we go. Roman Northwest Africa, a region now corresponding to northern Algeria and Morocco, from Greek Maros, perhaps a native name or else cognate with Maros, black. You see that? Black. Because that's what more means, okay? All the word more means is black or dark. Okay? Here we go. Here goes some more on it. It says also applied to the Iberic conquerors of Spain, right? Because we know the original Spaniards were people of color, or dark people, like it says. Being a dark people in relation to Europeans, their name in the Middle Ages was a synonym for Negro. You see that there? Negro. You see, so I'm just establishing and showing you that, hey, this is what the word Moors mean. Dark, okay? People of color. Okay, so you can see everything in common with the word swarthy, tawny, and more. Okay? So let's go back to Benjamin Franklin. Okay? I'm going to say it again. It says all Africa is black or tawny, Asia chiefly tawny, America exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so, and in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also. So let's see if it says something on this one, because I do actually got the book, right? It's a very good book, brings out good information. It's not on here. It says It says the Negro Question Part 4, the missing link. This is from Lee Cummings, right? And when you go into this book, right, it shows you, there's images in this book to show you, how we once ruled different lands, right? How we are basically the originators, of Britain, right? Scotland, Ireland, And when we go to page, let's see, right? Because it also quotes Benjamin Franklin as well. All right, so when you go, let's see, Salakia. So when you go to page 57 in this book, right, the Negro Question Part 4, the missing link by Lee Cummings, it states actually what was on the screen right here. Okay, and then it has a little chart. Benjamin Franklin got a list. On one side it says or chart, it says Benjamin Franklin list of black nations in Europe in 751, right? So it says Spain, right? In this time period, Spain was black, France was black, Italians, Russians, Swedes, Germans, and America, all black around this time, right? Then when you go over, it says the nations at Berlin Conference in 1884 to 1885. Now you got France, Britain and Ireland, Scotland and the UK, Germany, Portugal, not Germany because they got a question mark, Portugal, Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, Norway. And guess what? At this time period now, right, 1884 to 1885, all these people are white. Okay. Some else want to get let's see. All right, so actually let's jump. So we're going to jump back to page 4 in this book. You know what? We're gonna start at 3, right? And it actually has a image of an Irish priest, right? And you can look this up yourselves. Let's see if I can find it real fast. Right? His name is Saint Brendan the Navigator, an Irish priest from Ireland. Let's see if I can get an image of him. Saint. That's a lot good. Bear with me, Saint. Hey, and we know the true saints, right? The true saints, according to the Bible, are Israelites only, man. Okay. Saint Brendan the Navigator. Let's see if they give me the original picture. See, you see what they do when you type in these people, Saint Brendan the Navigator. You see what they do? This is what you call iconoclasm, okay? The defacing of black images, and this is what they did all over the world, okay? They try to color up the images of our people, right? Which were people of color, and make them all white. See, this is what you call Renaissance art, iconoclasm, the defacing of icons, the defacing of images. So just like when I type in this brother, you get all these white images, what they did. Okay? But we had so many images up in statues, that they couldn't even destroy them all. So let's see if I can put original one and see if it pops up. You see, bear with me, because this is the type of things you go through when you try to find our images. And I didn't plan on looking him up, so that's why I didn't have him on the screen already. So let's see if I can find the image of him. Okay, so anyway, so while I'm looking, I'm gonna read it on my paper. It says James Anderson, 1911, Riddles of Prehistoric Times. It says, this little black Welshman, you see what they put there? Welshman. This little black Welshman, what is he? A Scot, a Celt, settled in France, a conscious of the Canary Island, France, Ireland, Spain, and the British Islands, and all over Europe. You see, but the point I want to get is this little black Welshman. Okay? So, meaning he was very short, but the point that I'm harping on that what? He was a man of color. That's why they called him a little black Welshman. Because the original Celts, right? The original Scots, which when you go into the word Scot, that means dark as well. So when you go to the word Scotland, that means dark land. Okay? Let's see. This might have some here with him. Nope. Let's see. See, and you see all these images right here, as you see on the screen. All these images you see are supposed to be all dark people. You see, but yeah, maybe me and another brother, we'll do a lesson on that, pulling up all these different images, and showing you the real images, what they're supposed to look like. But the point still stands is what this little black Welshman, a man of Irish or Ireland, he was a man of color as well. Okay, so let's, before I go any deeper, right, I also mentioned Britain. Okay, now let's see what this says. You got there's a book called from Ivan Sertima. It says African presence in early Europe, which we know they always like to try to make us seem like we're Africans, but in fact they do know that we're the Israelites. Okay, but it says the Britons, right? The original Britons look like the Ethiopians, right? Now the Ethiopians are true Africans. Okay, and the Greek word for Ethiopian is a burnt face. Okay, a dark people. Right, so why would I say the the Britons look like the Ethiopians? Because the original Britons were dark people. Okay, let's get the scripture real fast. This book of Jeremiah 13 and 23, right? It says, can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leper his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Right? So the point I was making on this, as it said in scripture, is what? Can the Ethiopian change his skin? And the answer is no. Okay, and we know that the original Ethiopians, which they are the Cushites today, they are people of dark skin. All right, and this is mentioning that the Brits look exactly like them. Okay, so now let's go back to let's go back to this. Okay. Matter of fact, what I want to pull up. All right, so this is what I had to type in. I had to type in Black Britain Kings, okay? Which they're Israelites, right? But I just wanted to show you a visual image real quick. All right, so this is a medieval miniature of Edward III of England. The king is wearing a blue garter of the Order of the Garter over his plate armor between 1430 and 1440. It says before 1450. But as you can see, look at that. Look at the coat of arms that he got. You see all this stuff that they be wearing? Hey, Jake is the former of all things. You see? The coat of arms, they got all that stuff from us. They got all that stuff from Jake. You see that? What is the king of? King of England. All right. What else? Let me show you another one. Right. A lot of these images. This is here we go. This is King Athelstan, presenting a book to Saint Cuthbert from an illustration in a gospel book printed by Athelstan, the Saint Shrine in Chesterley Street. This is the earliest surviving portrait of an English king, Corpus Christi College, Ambridge. But as you can see, look, hey, dark people, okay, ruling as kings where? England, okay, Britain, Europe, France, all these different areas which you thought that we weren't ruling, which, hey, in fact, in history, we got the artifacts, the history, you know, everything to prove it. The art, you know, we got it all. Where's this at? Let's see. This is Charles V, King of France. Look at that. Look at these dark people. Look at that, dressed in royalty. You see, returns the sword of the High Constable to Bertram du Guesclin in 1320 to 80 from the History du Guesclin after the poem by Cavalier, early 15th century. You see? Yup, and we was ruling during the Holy Roman Empire as well. You see, look at that. Look at that. That's Edith of England and Otto First Holy Roman Empire. You see that? Where is he at? Where is he? His name is Charlemagne. He was King of the Franks. You see? So when you hear these different names, like, yeah, the Franks, the Welshmen, the Scots, the Celts, hey, all them, man, look, all that originated is our people, man. Okay? And what did the so-called white man do? He tried to take on that as his identity, which, you know, it really went back to us. But in fact, truly, you know, our true heritage goes back to the Israelites of the Bible. Okay? Look at that. Look, Elector Frederick III, the wise of Saxony. Because the original Anglo-Saxons, which means the angelic sons of Isaac, goes back to the Israelites. Okay? Look at that. To Tsar Peter of Russia. You see? And I forget this brother's name. You know? It doesn't say it. Alright? Alright, so let's go. We're gonna go back to what right? Page 4 of the Negro question, part 4, the missing link. So it says Professor Winchell Alexander, Our Remote Ancestry, 1815 to 1900 collection of journals. It says these short black men came from Atlantis. Oh, yeah, right. Continuing from page 3 to 4, it says these short black men came from Atlantis, Northern Africa, and they overran Europe. They were known as Britons. You see? It says Roman historian Tacitus, the origins of the Black Britons. The Iberians are black people with curly hair. You see that? You see that, man? You know, so we get all the information backing up what we're saying. Okay, so that's the end of that. So now let's go to Dublin, right? Because Dublin is a capital city in Ireland, right? So check this out. I thought this was pretty interesting. It says Dublin, the capital of Ireland, literally named Blackpool, from Irish dup, meaning black. You see? But it says it's in the reference to dark waters of the River Liffey, right? That's what it says, and I actually looked it up. You know, it's confirming that too. It says the name Dublin comes from the Gaelic dup, Lynn, or black pool, where the Puddle stream met the River Liffey to form a deep pool at Dublin Castle. You know, that's what it says. But, you know, in my opinion, I think, you know, there's a little bit more to that, right? Because then when you look up this, right, when you go to this article, it goes into, oh no, this one goes into this is go to King Kenneth Dupe the Black King of Scott. Well, then we just read what Doof means dark, right? And goes back, and that's where you get the word Dublin from. So it says the Black King of Scotland. Hey, and the King James 6, forget it. Right. So before we before we go into that, right? So like I said, King James, right? King James was the 6th and the 1st, right? Which was a so-called black man, right? Because King James, he was the king of England, Scotland, France, and Ireland, right? And King James also was what? He also had the Bible translated. Okay, he's the one that had the Bible translated. So that's why when the book is called the King James Version, right? He's the one that had it translated. Okay. So when people make these stupid arguments, well, King James is a white dude. No, the original King James was a so-called black man. Okay, when you go into the iconoclasm in the Renaissance era, you will learn that these false images that you see of a lot of these paintings that they got up, a lot of them was colored up, over-colored, where they made these images of dark people to white. And they try to do the best they can. A lot of them, they did real good, being the devil they are. But, hey, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it all the way. And this history and these facts are still going to come out, man. Okay? Because we had too much history. And it's time for the truth to be revealed anyway, which the ultimate truth goes back to the Holy Scriptures. Okay? But like I said, right, King James had the Bible commissioned to be translated. Okay? So let's go into so here we go. So we're doing with King Kenneth, right? Was also known as Kenneth the Niger or Kenneth Dub, a surname which means the black man, right? Because Niger means black as well. Even when you go into, let's see the scriptures, right? We're going to go to Acts, the 13th chapter, right? This is the book of Acts 13:1. It says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas, Simeon, that was called Niger. You see, these are people of the Bible. What does Niger mean? Niger means black. Niger means dark. So it's just showing you that, hey, these people, right, the men of the Lord, the people of the Bible, hey, these were black, dark people. Okay, so-called black, what you would call today. You see? See, I'll read it again. It says, as Barnabas, it says certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon that was called Niger. You see? Backing up what it's telling you about King Kenneth. Right? What did they say he was? They said he was Niger. Right? Or Kenneth Dub, which, you get the word Dublin from, meaning black. You see? Let's read a little bit more. It says, it is a matter of history that many seafaring warriors were North African, Israelites, traveled via Iberia into Europe and joined in many cultures and held power and position. Niger Veldub lived and reigned over certain black divisions in Scotland, and some histories state that a race known as the Sons of the Blacks succeeded him. Okay, so that's one of the point I want to get on. It's just showing you that, hey, see, the kings of Scotland, and he is one of them. All right, so let's go into the word Scotland. Okay, see, I believe I'm missing something here. Okay, I'm gonna hit the main point on this. Let's see, what's this? Okay. All right, so that's let's see. All right, so I'm trying to find a word Scotland on here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so Okay, here. This is the point. It says, but a Greek word meaning, see, a Scotia is really not an Egyptian name, but a Greek word meaning darkness. From the Latin, from the Greek Scoti, from the Scotios means dark, shadowy. From the shadow it casts from Scotos to darkness. So when you even go to the etymology of Scotland, you go down to what? The late Latin word Scotia, the land of the Scot, right? And we went into it. What does Scotia mean? From the Greek, dark. You see? So when you really go into the word Scotland, coming from the word Scotia, means dark land. All right? That's what Scot means. Okay? It says what the late Latin word Scotia, land of the Scot, although initially used to refer to Ireland, by the 11th century at the latest was being used to refer to Gaelic-speaking Scotland north of the River Forth. Okay, so yeah, that's the point on that. Okay, here it goes. So when you go to the word Scotia, just backing it up, like I read, it says Scotios, dark, shadowy. From the shadow it casts darkness. Yep. Yeah, that's what it says. Scotia, and just backing it up, literally Scotland. So dark land. That's what it goes into. But yeah, that's pretty much the point on that. Me and the other brother will go a little bit deeper into, Benjamin Franklin's article. Lord willing and Sean a lot more images than I did. And hey, this is like I said, this was all through the spirit, and it was a rough draft. So, I didn't really have all this planned together as I just started looking up other things, and the lesson came out actually longer than I really anticipated. So, hey, Shalaki if I started to ramble on. But yeah, so going back into this, right, to close out, it says, first, here's Benjamin Franklin in 1751 referring to the Swedes, the French, and the other Europeans as insufficiently white and expressing his growing annoyance at the German immigration boom. So he's mad, and what annoyed him at the German immigration boom. Why? Because these were people of color, man. That's what aggravated him. He wouldn't be mad if they was people of his kind. That's why he made the statement what he said. That's why he said, why should Pennsylvania, founded by the Englishmen, or I'll say the right terms, why should Pennsylvania, stolen by the Englishmen, become a colony of aliens who will shortly be numerous as to Germanize us instead of or Anglifying them? Right? And why would they didn't want to be Germanized? Because they was like, them is niggas, man. Right? We don't want to be Germanized by a bunch of niggas. Okay? In better words. It says, and will never adopt our language or customs or any more than they can acquire our complexion. Okay? And you see, Esau, Edom is the same. You see they're using that word alien. Right? Same as they're doing to our brothers and sisters, the Latino speaking tribes, man. Calling them aliens from the lands that they stole, man. Okay, the lands that they stole from them, right? And when they want to come back, they call them immigrants and aliens, man. Esau, you're the true immigrant and alien, man. Okay. So yeah, like this says, it says, all Africa is black or tawny, Asia chiefly tawny, America exclusive of the newcomers wholly so in Europe. The Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, Swedes are generally of what we call swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also. You see, so I went in all them words, backing it up and just putting it all together with swarthy and tawny and more. It means black, it means dark, it means tan. Coming down to the end of it, it means people of color. All right, so we're going to close out with this, right? What's that? Psalm 60. All right, Psalm 64, verse 8. Okay, so here we go. It says, So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So all in all, even with him speaking this, make this essay and letting it be known, he made their own tongue fall upon themselves, because Esau put it out there that that they were the original people of these lands, But going back into what Benjamin Franklin saying in 1751, he's telling you, the people that had these lands these were people of color, man. All these lands, and all these different people, they was all people of color. You see, but now, when they put out that deception in that ladder, all these lands were governed and ran by so-called white people, which they did end up taking over and rolling over us, but they weren't the original. And Benjamin Franklin and other people of his kind and scholars and, scientists, they know a lot of this information, and now they're just starting to bring it out and pour it on the people. And the people, they losing their mind, because all their life they were taught nothing but lies, all their life. So now when we bring it out to the truth, now we bring out the truth to a forefront. Now everyone gets mad and have a problem with it. But don't be mad at us because we bring the truth to you. Be mad at your forefathers and your public school systems that taught you or miseducated you, with nothing but deception. Okay? What does the scripture say? Therefore am I come your enemy because I tell you the truth? But that's the point. Okay, and Lord willing, me and another brother, we're going to, this a little bit more. And the next one will be a lot with different images of us ruling, in a lot of these different lands. But with that, Lord willing, to the next one, shalom.